What's up, guys? Thanks for watching another one of our videos. Larry Bird is known for a lot of reasons, specifically his dominance in the NBA throughout his career. But some people aren't aware that Bird was actually a deadly trash talker. In today's video, we're going to be going over 15 of the most savage trash talking stories that have come out regarding the Celtics superstar. We'll start with number 15, and it's Larry Bird and Dennis Rodman. Bird and Rodman were going at it in a game, and Bird happened to sink 4 straight baskets with Rodman defending him. After his 4th straight shot, he ran over to the opposing team's head coach and said, "Who's guarding me, Chuck? Is anyone guarding me? You better get someone on me or I'm gonna go for 60. Rodman had to explain the story afterward and said that he was doing all he could to cover him. All the while, Bird was shouting at his teammates things like, "Hurry up before they notice nobody is guarding me." It's not often you see Rodman outclassed, but Bird was one of the best. Number 14, Charlie Smith. The former New York Knicks forward shared a story about Bird hitting a long last-second shot to win the game, a shot that went right over Smith's head. After making the incredible shot, Bird simply looked over and said, "Sorry, Charlie." When he explained it, Smith said it's the type of comment that makes you want to jump on him. At number 13, the entire Dallas Mavericks bench. Bird didn't just aim at one person on the court. He hit everybody in sight with his trash talk. This one story came from a game in 1986. Bird was awaiting an inbound pass when he looked at the Mavericks bench and shouted exactly where he would receive the pass and where he would shoot the basketball. And a few seconds later, they weren't able to stop it as he did exactly what he said he was going to do. Afterwards, Bird looked over at the guys on the bench and winked at them before going back on defense. Number 12, Shawn Kemp. Xavier McDaniel shared a story about a game between the Seattle Supersonics and the Boston Celtics. Bird hit a last-second shot to win the game, and he made the basket right in the face of Shawn Kemp. Once he saw it hit the bottom of the net, Bird proclaimed, "I'm the best damn player from Indiana." McDaniel said that they heard the story afterwards and started laughing about it, but for those who don't know, Kemp was the only player from Indiana on the floor at that time. Number 11, we've got Chuck Person. On a Christmas Day game many years ago, Bird continued to tell Chuck Person that he had a Christmas present waiting for him. He said it the entire week leading up to the game, and once it came around, Bird shot a 3-pointer right in front of Person as he sat on the bench. The second that the shot went in, Bird turned around to Person and shouted, "Merry fucking Christmas." Prior to the game, Person used his nickname, the Rifleman, to stir up some drama. He said the words, "The Rifleman is coming," and he's going bird hunting. Now, I'm thinking that clearly ticked Bird off a little bit. Next is number 10, and it's Julius Erving. Most of you have probably seen the legendary fight between Dr. J and Larry Bird, a fight where punches were thrown and players were tossed all around. Well, it all started because of Bird's trash talk. He kept repeating the phrase 42-6 in Erving's ear throughout the quarter. Those were the total number of points each player had, with Bird scoring 42 and Dr. J only having 6 on the night. Bird kept a tally as he scored more, and it eventually reached a boiling point. Number 9, Danny Ainge. This trash talk wasn't directed at Danny Ainge, but rather a story Ainge shared about what Bird would say to his opponents. Apparently, when Bird was feeling it on the offensive end, he would ask Ainge to give him the ball because he had his opponent in the torture chamber. He also said that Larry didn't care if he was listening or not either. He knew he had him right where he wanted him. Number 8, the left-handed game. Bird was so good that he got bored one time and decided that he wanted to play a game with the opposite hand, his left one. Larry told everybody what he was going to do, and he did just that. He had 27 points at the end of the third quarter, then finished the game with 47 points and the game-tying shot to go into overtime. Oh, and he also happened to hit the game winner in that one. Next up at number 7, it's the Washington game winner. Bird sunk a dagger 3-pointer to win a game for the Celtics, but the opposing team called a timeout, so they waved off the jump shot. Bird was visibly upset about the ruling, so he looked over at the opposing team's bench and said, "You guys, when I come back in from the timeout, I'm going to go right to the same spot and I'm going to kick it in." So he literally told the team he would be the one with the ball, and he told them where he was going to shoot it from. And sure enough, just a few seconds later, he shot it again from that same spot and nailed the game winner for the second time in a row. Number 6, Magic Johnson. The Celtics and the Lakers had a heated rivalry at that time. Unfortunately, Magic Johnson was out for this specific matchup with a pulled hamstring. So when Bird found out, he came over to him before the game and said, "Man, I'm sorry you're not playing, but I'm gonna tell you what, you're here, I'm gonna put on a show for you, so you just sit back and watch." Johnson responded by saying, "Get out of my face, man, I don't want to hear that." Then, throughout the entire game, Bird actually looked over at Johnson pretty much every time he hit a shot. Hey, if you don't want Bird making glances at you like that, I would suggest subscribing to our YouTube channel. Seriously though, what are you waiting for, man? Anyways, back to the video. Number 5, Flybird. Brad Dorty explained a story when he was tasked with defending him for a possession. Bird had the ball for a corner 3 and pump fake. Dorty was a little out of position, so he tried to make up the ground by jumping. As he was in the air, Larry said to him, "Flybird," and then proceeded to sink the shot as he passed by. Number 4 is Mark Aguirre. I'm telling you, poor Aguirre here. He didn't even get a chance to really say much, and yet he was tortured for his remarks. After hitting a three-pointer on Bird, he said, "Take a look at that." Bird then hit 3 straight three-pointers in a row, capping it off by saying, "You're out of your league." On to number 3, and it's Robert Reid. Reid was trying to defend Bird the best that he could, but it just wasn't working. Bird ended up getting all the way up to 50 points on the night, and that's when he started to shout, "You should have stayed in preaching." Number 2, Ben Poquette. This one isn't at all Ben Poquette's fault. He was given the task of defending Bird throughout the entire game. The opposing team had high hopes of him at least limiting the superstar forward. But when the game started and Larry saw who was defending him, he shouted to the bench, "Ben Poquette, are you fucking kidding me?" He later went on to drop 33 points in the first half, just a taste of the 41 points he dropped that entire game. Finally, we're on to number 1 from the trainer's lap. Doc Rivers shared this story, and boy, was it a great one. Bird was going up against a very young Atlanta Hawks squad led by Dominique Wilkins. Bird got so hot early on in the game that everything was falling. He was hitting so many shots in a row that he started to call out what would happen. Phrases like "off the glass," "who's next," and "where you want this one from" just kept pouring down on the Hawks players the whole night. At one point, he was coming up the court when he asked the opposing team who wanted the upcoming shot he would take. Somebody came running at him to defend him, and Bird yelled, "In the trainer's lap." Not only did Bird swish the shot and have everybody in awe, but the player who ran to defend him happened to trip and fall right onto the lap of their trainer. Rivers explained that it was a complete accident, and yet it felt like fate. Then the Hawks bench was shown, and 2 players were literally high-fiving because of the greatness they just got to experience. Everybody on both sides knew that one was a special game to be a part of. If you enjoyed this video, guys, please make sure to check out the top 10 reasons Larry Bird was so good.